All right, day 8 of the Anthony T.T. Jordan trial. A pretty uneventful day, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I just want to take a moment and thank everybody that has supported and liked and shared and commented, and it really means a lot. You know, the kindness that people showed out in the courtroom is neat for me. You know, I don't know that all of you listen to our podcast, and we started, you know, almost a little over a year ago. And one of the reasons we started the podcast was to show a different side of policemen. You know, a lot of you guys and a lot of people know us when we're in uniform. And when you're in uniform, you're a lot different than you are in real life. And we really wanted to, you know, not only tell great stories about, you know, some of the interesting cases that have gone on in the area of St. Louis, because that's where we're from. You know, that's where we're going to start. And we hope to grow this thing and do different things. And, you know, and one of the things we really wanted to do is humanize the police officers. And you see that from what I'm going through with the trial now, too, is that, you know, you see, you know, obviously that's tenseful down there, but people are still nice and kind to me. And that's really cool. So that, you know, that's why this is meaning a lot to, you know, not only is it neat to see that we're getting all these likes and subscribes and shares, that's awesome. But we're going to do more like this. You know, we have the podcast that just comes out on Mondays. But with Miami Mike, we might make him our content director on the Daily Show. And we want to give it like a Evening Whirl kind of, you know, because Evening Whirl got brought up into this trial. And for all those that know, the Evening Whirl was everybody wanted to be in it. Policemen, gangsters. It was just funny to be in it. And to do something, we're working it out. We're going to do something daily. Myself and some other people. Maybe we'll have different people on different days and talk about some neat stuff and get some guys from that weren't policemen on the other side of the law back in the day. It was, you know, it's fun to reminisce. You know, there were wild days back then. The area that this is around, you know, in the heart of the 5th District was, it was popping back in the day. You had the Beam Street Boys, the 62 Rolling Crips weren't right there around the corner. There was all kinds of them down there. It was fun, and that's what we want to have. Humanize the policeman, you know, let you guys know that, you know, if you like me, that there's a lot of, you know, the knuckleheads that I run the podcast with, we just do nothing but rip on each other. Have a lot of fun. So that's what we want to bring is some fun, some good cases, maybe do some stuff about the BMF. I was involved in that for several years, but that BMF went on for 25 years, might be still going on for all I know. I'm not there anymore. I haven't been there for 12 years or 15 years now. So yeah, get some of the guy. I know a lot of the people that were involved in those cases, maybe do a BMF Chronicles, talk about when this started in the 90s. And I know I have one of my friends that claims that the BMF started in St. Louis. And he believes that if it wasn't for St. Louis, that the BMF would have never got kicked off in the others. But I don't know his reasoning, but that's what he claims. But maybe we'll do something like that. But we're getting all that together now. If you got any ideas, you can hit us up at brightersideofblue@gmail.com, or you can go on our website, brightersideofblue.com, and there's a place to leave messages there and send us messages, do little stories, and have fun with it. You know, I don't want to, you know, but there's been a lot of neat stuff going on out there, a lot of neat investigations that are similar to this. Now, this one's, you know, a little crazier than about 99.9% of cases, but, and, again, thank you guys. And now we'll get on to the what happened today. Now, Washington was on for the end of his cross. You know, I missed some of his cross yesterday, and I asked Katie what happened, and she basically no gotcha moments or anything like that. The defense each time is just laying out the foundation of their defense, which is he never touched the dope, not a whole lot, they're not fingerprints on anything. It's just, and they're trying, and them, you know, the cooperating defendants lie, and you know, and they let's lay the foundation out. And but a couple of the things that I did find interesting is that he said that when he first went to prison, Washington did, he on Amazon, he got a book that was busted by the feds, and he said he got it to go over sentencing guidelines to figure out whether he wanted to cooperate or not. But there's also other stuff in I just thought the name of the book was funny, Busted by the Feds. But they went into that, they had the cars painted at Mako. So they were pointing out that he also had cars, had work done on Mako. Yesterday you heard that there was ear protection and eye protection used for gun ranges, and he did say that him and TT would go to the gun range occasionally together, stuff like that. But again, uneventful. Just the defense is just trying to lay out their defense throughout each one of these witnesses. They're just laying that out there. The next guy on the stand was Vince Mashure. I felt Vincent wanted to be there. I felt bad for him. He's from the neighborhood. But he is the owner of the lot at 4279 East Margaretta, where they did that search warrant that I was kind of mixed up about. And that's where the Infinity was at. And so he knew TT from the neighborhood. And he testified TT would often, bring cars to him to either fix or store. This particular Mitsubishi, the Infinity was stored there, and that's why the police were there to seize that Infinity. And then while they were there, they questioned him about other cars that TT might have had up there, and he had some in his phone that TT had brought up here and pictures of them, because he takes pictures of cars before they come. So if they get damaged, that he doesn't, somebody claims, hey, you damaged my car. He had these pictures in his phone to say that prove he didn't damage the car, that the damage was already there. So he would often take pictures of anybody that would bring their car in. And in his phone, he had a picture of the Jeep that we've heard about, the Jeep Cherokee. And he had the picture of a white Audi. If you remember, there was an Audi used that was a different color. They asked him, did he remember if it was a different color or not? And he didn't like that question, and he's like, I think I only remember it as white, and they just let it go. And then they showed him cars. They showed him cars of other cars that were seized. The Mustang and the BMW in the garage at Sacramento. They showed him pictures of them in the garage, and he said he recognized those cars as TTs. And then they also showed him the red Pontiac GTO that was out at that lot where the guy called and said, come get these cars. He also said he knew that as one of TT's cars. So that was that. Again, I felt sorry for him. He wanted nothing to do with this thing, and I just felt bad for him. Then next on was Joe Samoji. He's a TFO he's a St. Louis police officer, TFO in the DEA task force. And all he testified to really was that he buckle swabbed TT. And that was pretty much it. So I'm guessing there's going to be some DNA evidence coming soon. And then David Rapp, FBI agent, testified to a search warrant they did at the Brighton house. And that's TT's main house. It's where they caught him, and they called the lawyer, and the lawyer called the U.S. attorneys, and the U.S. attorneys then were with the guys on the scene. Well, once they got him into custody, they did a search warrant on the house. And I'm not going to go through where everything was found. They have 4 handguns, 6 different phones, TT's wallet, and that was about it. They meticulously went through each piece, but that's what they got. And then Matt Hannewinkle gets on the stand, and Matt is a firearms examiner for the St. Louis Police Department. Went through all the training they go through. Ooh, they go through 2 years of what sounded to be some extensive training that might put some people to sleep, like me. But anyway, he testified that he did some analyzing or matching, and they did mention that he found a positive result on one of the shell casings found in the cars. They may have briefly mentioned it. I'm sure this is going to come back up, but I didn't catch what car. So that most likely will come up in the next couple days, next 2 or 3 days. And then Dave Menendez got on, also a fire examiner for the St. Louis Police Department. He's a supervisor there down now. And what they had him go through was the triple murder on San Francisco, all the ballistics and what kind they were, what kind of guns they were fired from. And then he did the same thing with the scene on Martin Luther King, that high power rifles were used. And there was a lot of talk about what kind they were. So I'm sure that that's further going to come up, is what kind of ammunition was used. Again, there was only the one match that I heard, and that was from Hannewinkle, and the other ones were just tested. And there was a lot of talk about what kind of ammunition was used and stuff like that. So there's a good chance that might come up. But court started late today. Went to lunch right away, so that was it for the testimony. And once again, and then Katie's going to be on our podcast coming tomorrow night. We'll do the update. They're off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Katie Cole from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, who's the crime reporter for them, will be on our podcast that'll drop Monday. And again, we're working on some other stuff, and I think it'll be fun, and I think you guys will enjoy it. And again, if you want to contact us, just hit us up on email. So that's it. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace.